And while you're in here too, you could then go to start placing a trade. So if we did, we kind of did our background. We're like, hey, I saw Microsoft in my watch list, tapped it to go to its symbol overview, looked at the chart, placed an alert. You know what? My alert triggered and I'm ready to place a trade on it. How can I get there? Well, one way is here at the bottom. You can actually see option stock strategy. This is where we can go ahead and queue up a trade on the symbol we're looking at. So we're looking at Microsoft right now. So I could place an options trade, a stock trade, or actually set up the order by some default strategies, or at least our strategy selector, to save you some time. In this case, let's just show real quick how you can buy stock on the platform. This is going to function very similarly for futures too. So if we wanted to buy some Microsoft stock, all we need to do is just tap on stock here at the bottom of the platform. And that's going to pull up an order ticket here to buy a share of Microsoft. So your default order quantity might be a little bit different. We'll toss into the settings a little bit later to show you how you can change that. But here we can see, hey, we're buying. We have a limit order right now, good till canceled, time enforced. So the order will keep working until filled or canceled. And then we have our order quantity. So right now we're queued up to buy one share, and our limit price is set to buy at a price of $374.97 or lower, essentially at my price or better, which is how limit orders work. At the top here as well, you're going to see some information as to the market for this symbol right now. So you can see the bid and ask. So the bid's trading at 374.89, the ask 374.93. So, we're buying stock. The closer you are to this NAP price, so it's going to change either if you're selling or buying, but the closer you are to the NAP price, the more likely you are to get filled on your order. In this case, since we're buying stock, if we offer to pay more to buy, we're more likely to get filled on this trade. Right now, it's just defaulting to the mid price. So it's going to keep, you see this mid price right here. Our limit price is updating based on that. If we wanted to stop that price from shifting around, you could click on this little lock icon in the top right. You'll see that this limit price down here isn't going to update. So right now this is 194.13. However, before it was 0.12. We set that lock, it's not going to change anymore. So if you really want to enter at a specific price, you don't want that number fluctuating around, make sure you have that lock activated. Also, when you first get into the trade ticket as well and the lock is unlocked, the second you either tap these price adjustment arrows up or down to change the price, or maybe type in a new number. So in this case, if I tap down, you'll notice that lock icon automatically gets locked. So if you are setting a price, you don't need to worry about that. It will do it for you. So we are setting up a buy order. Maybe we want to crank up the limit price a little bit closer than that. 194. Let's go 194.11, maybe a little bit over the market, just so we get filled. Before we place that order, one thing you can do too is see this arrow here, this downward arrow in the top right. If you take that and tap it, it's going to collapse your stock order, and you can again check out the chart on the symbol that we're looking to trade. So we pulled up Apple instead here. You can also see a general market watch list here. But so you can check out a chart or drag, move it back up, tap on it, and go back to our stock order here. If you're in landscape mode, have your phone sideways, also you'll be able to see a chart and place a stock order at the same time. In this case, let's just ship it off. So we have our GTC order to buy one share. We get our confirmation screen where we can see, hey, what commissions and fees am I paying? What kind of order am I placing? What's the price? What's the account I'm placing it in? And then before confirming, you can either also go back to the screen we were just in, tapping on edit, and then you'll go back to your order to edit the price, quantity, or whatever. You can tap on clear too. Maybe you're thinking, hey, actually, this seems like a terrible trade. Let's clear it out. Let's get it off my screen. You could tap on clear and the trash can icon. And then lastly, if we're ready to ship it off, we can tap submit. So once you do tap this submit button, your order is going to start working. So we tap submit. Now our working order for Apple is off, and it looks like we got filled pretty much right away because we placed it on the market. But for a second there, you did see a yellow line on the chart that was showing our working order on Apple. But now we can see that we have bought a share here. And this little F icon there actually shows it was filled. So we can see that in our recent orders here, just from the breakdown after we just placed that order. But if we wanted to then, keep track of the profit or loss on this position, or maybe look to close it later, that's where we're going to circle back to this positions tab at the bottom. So if we tap on positions at the bottom, now we can see that share of Apple that we just opened. We can also see some columns here, just like our watch list tab. You can edit these columns with the gear icon up here. I'll show it in just a little bit, but we have our P&L open percent. And then if you scroll your finger, you might have multiple pages checking out different columns. But again, it's where you're checking on the status of your open positions. And then eventually this is actually where we'll go to close a position too. I'll show you guys that in just a second. And actually, we could do it for stock as well. Why not? So while we're in this screen and we have our Apple stock, if we wanted to close it, just to show you how quickly you could close it. So we opened it, P&L open, we're up 1 cent. No, never mind, not anymore. We're breaking even. So if we wanted to close this position, all we would need to do is tap on this left side here. So we see one Apple stock. If we tap our finger in that area, that's going to select that row for Apple. So we're selecting this Apple position. You can see manage Apple position. This is where we're going to get our quick action menu, similar to our other platforms. Here, you can either click to set up a closing order, set up a bracket order. So this is also a closing order. I can go into more on brackets if you guys want to a little bit later, but it's setting a take profit and stop loss order at the same time on an open position or on a new position as well. Sorry, losing my voice there. And then there's a couple other buttons here. This is another way to get to the trade tab for a specific symbol. If you wanted to trade Apple, you go new trade, or we have the detail section. It's where we were just in checking out the symbol overview and alerts and all that jazz, and the order change section. So a couple different buttons here. But in terms of just closing a position, we're going to want to focus on close position or bracket potentially. But for this example, we're just going to go close position. And now it's going to queue up a closing order to close our Apple position. We're selling 1 share. So you can see -1, sell, closing Apple. And then we can see we're sending off a limit order, again, GTC, and the limit price for that order. If we tick down a little bit, in this case, again, if we're selling for cheaper than what the market's currently trading at, more likely to get a fill. So if we set up this trade, we're selling again, we're placing at 194.14, which is a little bit below that 194.15. So we're very likely to get filled. If we go to review and send and then submit, now we have sold and our order was filled. So we get a notification at the top that we've sold our position. So you can see that opening order here, we bought at 194.11, and then we actually made 3 cents in profit. So we sold at 194.14. So we can see those orders there. And if we went back to our positions tab here, and let me just make sure that that's filtered out. But if we're back in our positions tab, that position is no longer open.